He believed his father's name was a shield that could deflect any consequence. When a wealthy heir tormented an elderly mechanic in the freezing cold, only one man stepped forward. A solitary drifter with a scarred Belgian Malinois. But instead of upholding the law, the local sheriff arrived to protect the abuser, dragging the stranger away in chains and threatening to put a bullet in his dog. It was the last mistake the sheriff would ever make. He had no idea he had just declared war on a ghost, a top-tier special operator who had been hunting monsters long before he walked into that garage. The wind in Silver Ridge did not blow. It cut. It screamed down from the peaks of the Rocky Mountains, carrying razor-sharp ice crystals that scoured the streets of the small mining town until everything was painted in shades of white and gray. It was a place where winter was not a season, but a test of endurance. Most tourists stayed up at the resort, wrapped in heated blankets and drinking expensive wine, looking down on the valley like gods on Mount Olympus. But down in the town, life was harder. The roads were slick sheets of black ice, and the air smelled of wood smoke and diesel. Captain Marcus Vance did not mind the cold. In fact, he preferred it. The cold was honest. It stripped away the pretense and left only what was real. Marcus drove a rusted black Land Rover that looked like it had survived a rock slide. The heater barely worked, rattling like a dying lung. But the man behind the wheel didn't seem to notice. He was a mountain of a man, filling the cabin with a silence that felt heavy and deliberate. His face was hidden beneath a thick beard and a wool beanie, but his eyes were visible, steel gray, constantly moving, analyzing the tree line, the road, the shadows. Beside him, in the passenger seat, sat Titan. Titan was not a pet. He was 85 pounds of coiled muscle and instinct, a Belgian Malinois with a coat the color of dried mahogany and a black mask that gave him the look of an executioner. Titan sat with his head high, his ears twitching at the sound of the wind buffering the glass. He was a retired military working dog, a veteran of night raids in valleys far more hostile than this one. They were passing through, heading north toward the Yukon, looking for the kind of silence that doesn't exist in cities. Marcus needed fuel, and the Land Rover was making a grinding noise that he didn't like.